What's going on, guys? MDLP from the Battleaxe, the Strongman Gym in Miami. Making another video, obviously, or else why would it make sense not a picture here? About a question I've been asked. Now, let me get to the straight part. I try to make this as quick as possible, as I know most people only watch like 30 seconds of this shit. I will not really help you on how to do a cycle or any of that kind of stuff on testosterone or steroids. I'm not a professional at that shit. I did it once, and I get a lot of questions about how to cycle properly. Please, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm only telling you my experience, okay? So I was asked, how do you feel after, post-cycle? Now, there's a lot of theories and random shit about people feeling really depressed, and you can crash or suicidal, and you feel terrible and weak after a cycle. Yeah, I've heard of stuff like that too. I'm only going to tell you what I've been through, me personally, MDOP. So, I just talked about myself in the third person, what a dick. After the cycle I took a while ago, right after, obviously, there's residuals. It stays in your system for a little bit. I kept my pump for a while, I'd say a couple of weeks, but you will go down a little bit. You obviously don't keep all of your gains, but at the same time, I wasn't on something that you would consider a heavy use of anabolics. Anabolics are anabolics, I get it. But I wasn't on something going overboard. I wasn't on heavy shit. I wasn't on oral steroids or anything. But obviously test and trend, and only DECA right at the beginning for some pain management. So afterwards, how was my mental? Was I suicidal? Was I upset? I was upset that I wasn't as strong as I was just a month ago. And sometimes I still go through that. But you kind of have to come to the realization that, hey, that is what it is. Like you peaked for something, you did it, you got off injuries, and then, you felt better and obviously stronger. So if you hit reality and you let reality truly be real to you, I don't think there's anything, other than that. If you're a person that is, was completely fascinated with that, you might just stay on it and never feel, clean out every few months. That's a whole nother topic about cleaning out and everything. There's tons of videos on that too. But mentally, I just had to come to the realization that was what it was, and that I had to rebuild and kind of stay on this kind of natural kick for a little bit. Physically, did I keep a bunch of my gains? I would say that I lost about 30-40% of my gains physically, but I still kept a lot of size. I worked really hard during that session, so I'd say a lot of my muscle not only came from the drugs, I'm going to say obviously it did, but a lot of that muscle came from hard work. And I've made videos prior to this about actually using this stuff, but you have to work really fucking hard. And, I'm not going crazy big. I didn't gain, 40 pounds of mass. I gained about 15, 20 just because I wasn't going overboard on too much stuff. And I couldn't go too heavy anyways for weight classes or just my body weight. And then plus I play rugby at the later part of the season, or year. So, to anybody who has questions about how you feel mentally, I would really say that you just kind of have to be realistic, and you're going to be real safe. Prep yourself, I would say. Prep yourself during your whole thing that, this does not last at the same level. You're up here, and then you kind of take a few steps down on the staircase, and you're just like, all right, it wasn't as, it's not as awesome to be, overhead pressing over, about 300 pounds for fun. And now you're around the 250s, but you also be real. You're not on drugs anymore. You're clean. You're just doing this on your own. So it's gonna take time. And can you get there? Sure. It's just gonna take a little bit more. I don't want to say more, but different kind of work in essence. So yeah, I just wanted to answer that question. I didn't feel any kind of any downers or any kind of super depression. I didn't start crying for no reason and eating pints of ice cream with a bottle of wine, watching Hallmark movies. But there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, if you're gonna do it, you can do it with friends and be bros. I mean, it's not gay for bros or whatever. But realistically, I didn't feel any of that. Some injuries came back, but that's probably because I trained really hard, and so I spent a lot of time doing mobility, setting smaller goals, and going from there. So I hope this helps anybody who's is on steroids or is pretty much gonna, let's be real, if you're gonna do steroids, a lot of you guys are just gonna do it. Not that I'm saying you should do it. I have another fucking video on this. I'm on this whole philosophy behind it. But if you're gonna do it and you're already set on fucking doing it, it really depends how your mind goes into it and how your mind is during and how you kind of talk to yourself and how you become real with yourself. And don't live in this kind of fantasy shit that if you just come off the steroids, you're gonna be 100%. Do you lose all the gains? Not all of them, but you do lose some. Okay. Look at that hand. Bow! Got bear claw. Shit. All right. So if you have any other questions, keep them coming. I love the honesty. And hope this helps you guys and gals. Well, I really don't recommend girls do steroids, but if you gotta, make it strong as fuck. All right. From Battle Axe. Cheers.